Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of the Renegade Pop Culture Network's Free for All. This is your host, Keona, and with me tonight I have Josh.
Hey, what's up?
And I have Kristal.
Hello.
And I have Jacob.
What's up?
All right, guys, so we have some loose topics that we're going to follow tonight, starting with some of the movies that we've been watching. Jacob, I know you're a movie guy, so what have you been seeing lately?
Well, I've been watching a lot of VOD movies in preparation for the next Streaming Wars we're going to do. Such movies include You Should Have Left with Kevin Bacon and Amanda Seyfried, and Irresistible, the political satire movies written and directed by Jon Stewart and starring Steve Carell, Rose Byrne, and Chris Cooper.
Sweet. Yeah, I do want to see Irresistible because that looks cool, and plus it's Jon Stewart, and everybody loves Jon Stewart. So what did you think? Give us your opinion, since you're the guy who's kind of seen this. I think I saw The Assistant, but I haven't seen anything else yet.
Well, You Should Have Left, long story short, it was just really generic, but it had a lot of potential. There were some genuinely good scares. There's some good scenes in it, but I saw the twist coming a mile away. Irresistible, I thought it had enough bites to make it entertaining. It was surprisingly insightful, actually. It was a very thought-provoking piece of like how involved money is in politics and how hard politicians pander to the working class and such.
Interesting.
Very
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they pretty much do.
Yeah.
Well, they pander to everybody, but especially the working class.
Yeah.
Would you recommend that?
Bourgeoisie.
Personally, yeah, I would.
The birds work for the bourgeoisie.
All right, and then The Assistant. What was your take on that?
It was a very hard-hitting movie, I gotta say. The Assistant. It was a movie that it's a very somber, very serious. I don't want to get too much into this until we do the Streaming Wars one, but
Right.
It's a very hard movie to watch, both in its pacing and also in what it presents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was very interesting, and it was very methodically paced. I felt like I was watching this poor person suffer through their job. And I was just like, it reminded me of when my family and I used to own like a janitorial service. So I know how it feels to be like the early hours of the morning before everybody comes into the office, and how you have to just clean everything up. And basically that's sort of part of what she did in the movie. And I just felt bad for her the whole time. That was my takeaway from the movie, was just I just felt really bad for this poor person.
And Kristal, since you're the feminist of this group, you're gonna have to. Hopefully, you'll be able to voice your opinions in the next Streaming Wars that we do.
You're the opinionated one now.
It's funny because I wouldn't even consider myself a feminist.
Oh.
I feel really bad because I was thinking, wait, the movie didn't even look that serious, and I realized I wasn't thinking of The Assistant. I was thinking of The Intern with Robert De Niro and
Oh yeah.
No, completely different movie.
I was like, wait, what the fuck? Is this just a 180? Did the marketing screw over that movie?
Kristal, I kind of thought you were a feminist after you gave that that rant against Ernie Klein and that last Free for All we did.
Which I swear to God, I promise you, the listeners, you will hear that. I will will it into existence. I will fight tooth and nail. I will spit shine the Adobe Premiere Pro and an Audition and whatever. I will work my magic because that.
I honestly feel like that was one of our best episodes.
Yeah.
Like that really showed us in our personalities and stuff that, like I feel like tonight we're kind of doing a filler episode tonight. So, everybody's a little bit more mellow right now, but
I can get absurd.
We can get a little rowdy.
I can get rowdy about some things. Just give me a bit. I got some topics.
How about this? How about The Last of Us 2 getting a 30,000 signature petition to change the plot of the game?
Oh, that makes me angry.
As if the people that work at Naughty Dog didn't suffer enough.
Yeah, what do you want them to go back and crunch some more? Is that what you want? It's so ridiculous. Like, not only are you missing the entire point of the story and the game itself, you're also imagine the workload to go back and remake a game. It's like those people that said remake episode 8, and then they went ahead and they did the petition and everything, and they were like, we're so gonna do it. And it ended up just not materializing because you can't do it.
That dude that made that initial Indiegogo or whatever to get money for it probably made out like a fucking bank robber. Like, holy shit. Because I remember there was actual money.
There was.
Put into
did he give it all back?
I wouldn't.
Actually, I remember in 2016, someone tried to get a petition to cancel Rotten Tomatoes because they kept giving the DCE movies bad reviews.
Oh yeah.
Here's a good reason. Maybe the movies just sucked.
All right, guys, I gotta read the petition of it. Okay, at change.org, don't listen to film. Or no, this is the right one. Shit, there's like 2 of them. Hold on. The critics are just people who write their personal opinions, not professional opinions. It's not a measure of quality of the movie, so it shouldn't be important to aggregate and calculate the movie scores from these unprofessional opinions, because that affects the opinions of many people around the world on the movie's gross income. Like, it affects the greatest superhero movies franchises negatively. The DC films Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, Justice League, because of the unjust reviews. Wow.
That leads me to something. That leads me to something I need to tell you guys about, which I hope you guys... Keona, have you been on Twitter lately?
I try to avoid it like the plague.
That is a smart move.
Yeah.
I am not a smart man, so I am aware of this. There is a fan cut of Shazam.
Can't see that.
They can't see it, but there's a fan cut of Shazam that's apparently going to be released. Somebody said, my fan cut of Shazam will finally be available on July 20th, and it says this. There's an actual list for changes from the theatrical cut. New music and a brand new score. A fresh new color palette. Removed humor. Quippy one-liners. A darker tone.
Oh, no.
A post-credit scene which links to Suicide Squad. Added scenes which weren't present in the theatrical cut. A true Man of Steel cameo with the eyeball emojis, and additional VFX. And this came with a trailer, which I cannot show the viewers, but it is the worst fucking thing I have ever seen in my life.
What did he do? Did he repurpose footage from the other films or something?
He basically went into Shazam and ran it through a color grading software. For all I know, he probably did it in Premiere Pro. And he basically saturated the color to an absurd degree that it looks borderline unwatchable.
Is it the dreaded teal and orange?
It is worse than that. It is okay. Imagine if the scenes in Shazam were color corrected, like the scene where Superman goes to Mexico.
Oh.
And when.
Oh, no.
And when Bruce looks at his bat suit and he gives that scowl, that is basically what it looks like. And it is the worst cut trailer I have ever seen. And the insult to all of this dumbass, in his initial post talking about it, he actually had the balls to tag David F. Sandberg with the sole purpose of being like, can't you see this is what it could have been if it was under Zack Snyder's vision? Which, look, if you respect Zack Snyder's vision, I understand that. One of my closest friends, Gwen, is a big fan of Zack Snyder. She's doing a big video on Zack Snyder.
Ew, I'm looking at it.
But even she's like, this is overkill. You are not doing yourself any favors saying that you respect directors' visions.
Oh, God. It's so orange.
Kristal is seeing it right now. I'm muting it for your guys' pleasure. But
does it look like Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds?
Oh my God, it does. It does.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Oh my God. That literally... It's all teals and oranges. Don't watch it.
That
I kind
reminds
of want to
me
see
of.
it now.
Okay,
Okay.
if you're curious, if anyone's at all curious, just go to Twitter and look
Yeah,
up.
I'm searching.
Yeah, look up Shazam fan cut, and just go to the guy Ronnie OG's thing. Which it's funny because under his bio he has respect art.
Ah, yes, because this is respecting it.
Interesting. The guy has like 457 followers, so that would be my guess as to why.
And he has 2 crowns in his Twitter name.
Godzilla Mendoza is the real OG for saying, really
no.
respecting the director's vision there. Zach would be proud. Eye roll emoji.
It is very orange.
You know what this all reminds me of, guys? It reminds me of when some guy made an edit of Avengers Endgame where he just basically removed Brie Larson from it. Like, it was like every time.
What?
Every time that Brie Larson was on screen, it was like an extreme close-up, or they just don't bother. They don't show how Tony made it back to Earth in the ship. When they ambush Thanos, it's like extreme close. You have no idea who's chokeholding him. The scene where the Hulk talks with the Ancient One to give him the Time Stone. He just basically walks up to her, and then she just hands it to him.
What was wrong with the Ancient One?
Because she was a strong female character.
Okay, that I don't agree with. The whole getting rid of Brie Larson, that I kind of agree with.
Kristal,
Oh, come
Brie
on.
Larson. She's taking it to the podcast, people.
No.
Podcast before.
I really liked Captain Marvel. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I just liked that movie. I thought it was good.
And also they try to make it less humorous, and less jokes involving Fat Thor.
Dude, if you could get rid of the Fat Thor stuff, I'd be with you. And if you could kill Hawkeye off instead of Black Widow, I'd be with you.
If they could kill off the terrible Hulk dab scene.
That too.
That would make Avengers
that was
a 10
horrific.
out of 10. Rewatching it, that scene is so hard to watch. I actually don't mind any other scene with Professor Hulk, but that scene immediately takes the film from a 9 out of 10 to a 7.
Jesus Christ.
They did some things in that movie that I really, really did not like.
I
okay, well,
back now.
Let's save that. Let's save all that. Okay,
Can we we'll save the endgame criticisms for later.
I need to read you a different.
I've made peace with it.
I need to read you a different version of that petition to get rid of Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, here's what it says. Okay,
go for it.
We need this site to be shut down because its critics always give the DC Extended Universe movies unjust bad reviews, like Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Suicide Squad, and that affects people's opinion, even if it's a really great movies.
It affects people's opinion?
Even if it's a really great movies. It's a really great movies.
A really great movies.
A really great movie.
Oh my god.
Never knew something could be plural and singular at the same time.
Look, I feel like there is a point where we should definitely respect an artist's vision. But I think there's also something to be said when an artist's vision isn't widely loved by people. You can have a pure artistic expression from a big-time blockbuster filmmaker, and it can also be a failure. And where I take offense is when a filmmaker actively chooses not to improve their craft, not for the sake of getting more money, but for the sake of improving as an artist. I'm looking at you, Michael Bay. But there are some filmmakers where I think they bolster off the strength of their name alone, and they refuse to take any criticism that could be levied their way. Zack Snyder, I think, skirts that line, but I don't think he's necessarily a good example of it. However, holy shit, the cult around his universe is so mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I was talking with Francisco, a friend of mine who's going to be on the DC podcast one day. He compared Zack Snyder to Rennie Harlan.
And I totally understand what that means.
For sake, Kristal, Rennie Harlan was a blockbuster filmmaker that's fucking nuts. He's like out there and crazy, and his movies are wacky and wild. You can't say he's not visually unique, but his movies were so bad, and he was basically blacklisted from Hollywood after making one bad movie. It's a movie called Cutthroat Island.
Oh, okay, now I know what you're talking about. Okay, now that's that guy. Okay, now I know. That movie was a massive bomb. I know that much.
And ever since then, people stopped giving him movies.
Yeah, I can see why.
He was originally supposed to direct Alien 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Lucky David Fincher.
Hey. David Fincher was in a rock and a hard place. That dude, imagine you're given your first feature-length debut and they say, hey, you want to do a sequel to Aliens? I would say, fuck yeah, give it to me.
I would say no.
Really? That'd be fun, though.
Not touching that one.
If I
was another
original script, that would be amazing.
It's like the X-Men for me. Like if somebody were to say, hey, Keona, let's have you go and take, do an X-Men run for 12 issues. Let's give you 12 issues, 2 story arcs on the X-Men. I would say no. Because I do not want to ruin the characters that I love. Simple as that.
Stands.
M. Night Shyamalan, at least he used to be a director who had a pretty hard time taking criticism too.
Hey, you know what? I think Shyamalan gets a bad rap.
Well,
do you?
Well,
because you know what I'm going to say.
Last Airbender, we can give him a lot of shit for. We can give him a lot of shit for that.
I feel really, really, really bad because my dad wouldn't really, we would watch Avatar The Last Airbender in my room on the computer. So my dad never really watched it with us or even caught a couple sides of it. But when we watched the movie, we had to watch it in the living room. So my dad did see a lot of that. And now that the kids are watching Korra in the living room, he's like, is that Ong? I'm like,
fine.
What have I done?
But okay, like yes, The Last Airbender is really bad and the happening is laughable. But I think on the whole, Shyamalan's movies aren't that bad. And even if there's one that I don't really care for, which is Glass, I'll admit I haven't seen that in a long time. But I remember walking out of it going, okay, that wasn't for me. But you know what? I can't say that was interfered by anything else. That was pure Shyamalan to its core. And you know what? At least he got to tell the story he wanted to tell.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna read you a little bit from The Last Airbender's Wikipedia page, and you tell me if it sounds like someone who can take criticism. Okay. In a Vulture interview, Shyamalan argued that his style and art form of storytelling resulted in the negative reviews of the film and compared it to asking a painter to change to a different style. I bring as much integrity to the table as humanly possible. It must be a language thing in terms of a particular accent, a storytelling accent. I can only see it's this certain way, and I don't know how to think in another language. I think these are exactly the visions that are in my head, so I don't know how to adjust it without being me.
Okay, I take personal offense to that.
Okay. He also in another interview he said basically compared his work to Alfred Hitchcock, Stanley Kubrick, and Akira Kurosawa, saying that he's so very influenced by them.
Okay, well, you can say you're influenced by them, but to say that your work is alongside them, I think even Steven Spielberg would take offense to, would never compare his works to, say, David Lean. Okay. God damn it, Shyamalan, I'm trying to give you fucking credit. I still love you,
he
but...
protests too much.
Okay, look, The Visit's good. Split is amazing, I think. And Glass has good aspects. I think we can agree on that. Right?
Yeah.
Didn't the visit have an old lady screaming Yahtzee to a camera?
It's because she's a mental patient. She's a psychotic mental patient that tried to force her grandkids into an oven, and then threw her diaper at one of the kids. Yeah. When you throw sanity out the table, anything's fair game. Oh my god, I am not making a good case for myself with this.
No.
Well, what were you trying to say, Josh? What was your point?
my point was that, okay, Shyamalan does get a lot of hate, but I think he also belongs in that same group that I was talking about, where it's filmmakers that have their own style, their own unique way of making movies and everything. And you know what? I can appreciate that. And I also think it can be a hindrance if they don't listen to the criticisms of others. And for the most part, I feel like Shyamalan is self-aware enough to know the criticisms that are levied against him. Otherwise, I don't think he would have made The Visit, which was as stripped down as The Last Airbender could possibly be. You know, going back to bare basics, indie filmmaking, and then going into Split, which is, okay, I got famous off of doing thriller movies, suspense movies. Let's go back to that. Let's see what I can do. And you know what? People really like Unbreakable. What if I sprinkle that in a little too? Maybe people will appreciate it. And I'll say this: Glass was him trying to try out new things that, you know, maybe it didn't succeed, but I appreciate that he tried to do something new. And I'm actually excited for his new movie that he's gonna start shooting next year.
Remember when Shyamalan produced this movie called Devil, and it was supposed to be the first part of a trilogy? I remember there's a story of in the summer of 2010, this happened a lot, where people would go to see Scott Pilgrim or Inception, and they would see the trailer to Devil, and when M. Night Shyamalan's name came on, they all laughed. It was right after The Last Airbender.
Well, that was at the time when his reputation was way, like...
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And Devil, that infamously said that if your toast falls jelly side down, it's because the devil is near.
You don't know that?
No.
Yeah, it was a plot point in the movie because they're stuck in an elevator and they happen to have toast and jelly, or no, like I think a security card had toast and jelly, and they flipped it in the air and it landed jelly side down. He's like, El Diablo.
And
wait, is this the movie where like it's like Final Destination but in an elevator?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
basically.
I watched that when I was a kid.
You watched that?
I was terrified of elevators because of it.
Also, remember Lady in the Water? Lady in the Water has to be the most pretentious friggin' thing I've ever seen, because in that movie he literally plays an author who's writing something that's gonna save the world.
Okay, every filmmaker has a point where they do something that's incredibly pretentious.
And also, he has a movie critic getting eaten alive by a wolf.
Every filmmaker has a movie where they go full out with the pretension, like Magnolia and Paul Thomas Anderson. I love that movie, but that is 3 hours and 12 minutes of people falling in love, somehow being intertwined, and then frogs fall out of the sky. I love the movie, but I can acknowledge that it is the most pretentious thing ever.
I don't know. Does Paul Thomas Anderson play the world's greatest author in that movie?
No, but he comes out in a cameo and grabs a billboard that has a Bible quote on it.
Okay, fair enough.
Which I think the Bible quote related to the whole message of the movie too, so it wasn't exactly subtle.
Also, in The Lady in the Water, it also had a little boy predict the future, an ancient civilization, by looking at cereal boxes.
Well, these all sound fascinating.
After killing Ready Player One, the book, in my video, okay, you know what? I'm not exactly that's in the realm of realism for me now, where you can find the secrets to a billionaire's Easter egg hunt by finding a whistle and a box of Captain Crunch.
Of course. I
found out one of my favorite reading teachers loves that book, and I thought back to a YouTube comment I saw on Quentin Reviews' video on the book Ready Player One, where they said finding out your English teacher likes Ready Player One is like finding out your history teacher is a Holocaust denier.
Oh shit!
Whoa!
Like, it was intense. Like, it was a harsh...
Oh, I don't know about that. Well, I gotta say, though, before we move on, speaking of the pretentious Magnolia film, I have to say that whenever I fall in love, frogs fall out of the sky, too, so... You'd think I'd take the hint by now.
This is something that happens.
It's something that happens. I'm sorry to everybody that I've ever fallen in love with. It's just the frogs hit you in the face. I apologize.
Shyamalan actually is fundamentally a good director. I think The Sixth Sense still holds up really well. That movie, The Sixth Sense.
Unbreakable is a masterpiece in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. What about Signs? Did you guys care for Signs?
I watched it once and I liked it, but I haven't had the will to watch it again.
Nope.
I remember when I was a kid, my parents would always say like, "Oh, you're not allowed to watch this movie because it's way too scary," and they would tell me like, "Oh yeah, when we went to go watch it in the theaters, your mom left because it was that scary." And then my cousin came up to me like, "Yeah, I watched it when I was little, and I started crying. I had nightmares." I'm like, okay, so I was terrified of it, and I never watched it. And I grew up a little, and I watched it, and it was absolute garbage. I was like, what? They're like, well, wait until the alien shows up. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Was that it?
I know which scene they're probably talking about too. Was it the scene where Joaquin Phoenix is watching the TV?
Yes,
and then
yes.
The alien
yeah.
Warner.
Yes, I'm like, oh, terrifying. He's just jogging. No, he was like it wasn't even like he was pursuing the kids in the video. No, he was just taking a Sunday stroll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids just made him feel bad,
Yeah.
He's very aware of how he looks, okay?
Spielberg's War of the Worlds is more terrifying than...
Yes.
I love that movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Do you remember how dark that movie is?
I know.
That is up there with like my favorite Spielberg movies solely for the scene where fucking Tom Cruise kills Andy Dufresne. And he tells his daughter to put on the blindfold and start singing to herself, and it cuts to that shot where it's Andy. I know his real name. I don't remember his real name. Tim Robbins. Like in real close up, and then the camera moves back, and you just see Tom Cruise as a silhouette in the background.
Mm-hmm.
He just pushes in on her. That is one of my favorite Spielberg scenes, and that is so twisted and dark that I think, oh my god. This man made Tintin.
Yeah. Speaking of which, transition.
Segue.
Okay, I just want to get away. I think the darkest moment in War of the Worlds is when after the first attack, when the tripod lands and it's zapping people, and Tom Cruise, he comes back to his kids, and he's actually covered in the dust of the victims. That was wow.
Seeing that after watching a Spielberg documentary on HBO where they talk about how that movie was Spielberg's commentary on 9/11, like that was his statement on 9/11, and juxtaposing that with the dust scene where Tom Cruise is shaking off all the dust in the mirror. I get chills thinking about it.
Yeah.
There's also a dark where they're driving and they stop so Dakota Fanning can have a bathroom break, and she's right by the river and she sees the dead bodies floating.
Oh my god.
She's a good actress, Dakota Fanning. She really is.
She really is.
The transition, this is where I perform an act of contrition and acknowledge that I was very wrong about Tintin.
Finally.
Yeah.
It's happened.
I see the light.
Frogs are raining from the sky, and Mandy Moore is singing, "At last I
see the light." And it's like the fog is lifted.
Screw you guys. I actually don't like that song.
I know you like that song. That's why
I love that song.
Who doesn't love Tangled?
I freaking love Tangled. Okay.
I do too.
It kicks Frozen's ass any day.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Anything kicks Frozen's ass, though.
Chicken Little kicks Frozen's ass.
I didn't mind Frozen 2, guys. Come on now. Wasn't that bad.
Fuck Frozen 2, man.
Yeah.
Dude.
Okay, it was awful.
Get out of
Okay?
town. Get out. Get out of
It was
here.
awful. Come
It wasn't
on.
awful.
Jacob,
It
you're
was.
fired from the
It was
site.
not. How was it awful? Tell me. Go ahead.
It was just they just over-explained everything.
Well, I'll give you that.
Okay? Okay, and also, like, when she saves Arendelle from being covered in, like, from ruins, the message of what I was trying to say about having to move on and trying to make up for mistakes and
But
such.
Jacob, it
I don't
has
know.
the
I didn't get that.
classic- It
But
has
it's
that
fine.
classic '90s like boy band song.
Oh, God!
Come on, that was hilarious. That
Okay,
was
Kristal,
hilarious.
what the fuck was Kristal's arc even? What was his arc? It was non-existent.
Yeah.
And Kristoff was, I want to marry this girl. But
That was
she's
his arc.
fucking crazy.
That was his arc. His arc was he wanted to marry her.
And then he marries her.
Yeah,
oh my god,
that's his arc.
I just realized Kristoff's arc and fucking Justin Timberlake's arc in Troll Tour are the same
Oh
thing.
my god.
Am I wrong?
I don't know. I don't get the hate for this freaking movie. Okay, it's just Frozen 2. It's meaningless in the grand scheme of
Okay.
You
things.
know what? Here's the thing to settle the argument. My little sister just completely denounced Frozen, the first one, and it was made for her demographic,
Mm-hmm.
and she doesn't like it anymore. She used to love it, but she just told me like, yeah, it's complete garbage now.
I feel like that's kind of normal. Like you get out of that phase of Disney movies after a while, though.
That never really happened for me, at least.
Okay,
That happened for me.
I kind of grew out of Disney when I just got more into animation. Weirdly enough, the only when I became 18, I was exposed to more adult animated movies that are more artistic animated flicks. That's when my love for Disney kind of dwindled a bit.
Cool World.
Oh my god.
So anyway, Tintin.
Yeah, Tintin. Go ahead.
That's what we were
Okay.
talking about.
Yeah, that's okay. What I was trying. Okay, I realized what the movie was meant to be. I think that it wasn't trying to be the Indiana Jones films like I thought it was trying to be. It was more of Spielberg playing with his toys and Jackson playing with his toys, and I think we could all use just a quick, free-spirited adventure flick every now and then. It really is just the directors going crazy over what they had at their disposal, and it's just it works. It works in delivering the thrills and the action scenes, like on the pirate ship, or the one shot through Morocco, was it?
Oh, that
Yes.
one shot is so awesome.
I'm glad that we didn't record it, that mental health one with these cameras on the Facebook Zoom, or else I would have been forced to look at the disappointment in Kristal's face.
You would have been forced to look at the disappointment in all of us, and
Yes.
Michael too.
Yeah.
Not just me.
Yeah, you guys probably acted like I don't know, I committed murder or something.
I mean,
Okay, look, Tintin isn't that kind of movie where it's like, you don't like it, but it's still like, you didn't like it?
yeah.
Yeah, I get it. But I still understand why I wasn't crazy about it at first.
It's still wild to think that we had an Edgar Wright movie that was directed by Spielberg.
Oh, yeah.
And also Stephen Moffat, but who cares about him? Edgar Wright.
But like we
Joe
said,
Cornish, too.
like we said earlier, we told you that it's more of a movie that you have to watch a couple times before you absolutely fall in love with it.
Yeah. Honestly, I was a lot harsher to this movie than I was at the mental health. I used to be. But even that subsided up until that point. I guess I wanted it to be one thing, and instead I got another. And that's not really fair. When you're reviewing any movie, you really got to give it its own shake. It's fair shake.
Yeah, and we've also been listening to the score, and it's so much fun.
Yes, John Williams can just do no wrong, man.
And I really like it for as a John Williams score, because it doesn't have his classic, big bombastic horns.
Right.
It's more mellow, sticks to like woodwinds and just a little flair of brass, and I really like that out of him.
That's why Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite of his Harry Potter scores.
I'd have to listen to it.
It's so unique compared to the other two. Yeah, it doesn't have the same brass, it's actually more eclectic in a sense. Like there are different instruments being used, like the Night Bus piece, for instance.
And John Williams totally walked all over Hans Zimmer before he fucking did it by having a ticking clock being an accompanying instrument in one of his tracks. Why didn't John Williams get praised for being brilliant as a musician? Okay, fuck you, Hans Zimmer. I'm sorry. I'm really pissed that when Dunkirk came out, people were jerking off Hans Zimmer. Like, oh, he's such a musical genius. He's such a musical genius. Don't you hear? He's really bringing up the anxiety in people. Okay,
and he did.
He has a ticking clock as a leading percussion in God.
He's got shepherd tones in it. Oh, I hate that. I hate.
Kristal has more hatred for Hans Zimmer than I do.
Guys, screw you. I love Hans Zimmer.
No.
I like some of his scores.
Early Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, early Hans Zimmer is really, really good.
Lion King.
Prince of Egypt.
Yeah. Lion King, Prince of Egypt, The
Back
Rock
to Prince of
was
Egypt
really good.
Again.
And then with The Dark Knight, he started getting experimental, and I hate it.
You don't like the Joker theme?
And it's performed live. It's pretty good.
It's like that annoying little freaking mosquito flying right by your ear. That's what Hans Zimmer is.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's supposed to sound like a blade, though. I think it's not supposed to sound like one of Joker's little blades.
That's great. Doesn't sound good though.
Okay, fair enough.
That's just my opinion. Also, I will always have an eternal hatred for Hans Zimmer, just for his recent scores.
See,
but
I love his Blade Runner score.
That I will give you. That's a good score, and it fits it because of the theme.
Yeah, it fits.
Exactly.
But in other pieces, it doesn't work.
You guys excited for Dune, which Hans Zimmer's gonna score? But it is directed by Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve.
Is that how you say his name? I always kept hearing it as Denis Villeneuve. So.
He's French-Canadian, I think.
Okay. He's no David Cage, so it's all good.
You mean he doesn't believe in emotions?
Polygons.
And polygons? I only read the one game blog, Polygon. Because it has only one emotion.
But I am excited for Tenet if Nolan doesn't get us all killed. Because the guy doing the music for Tenet...
That's his plan the whole time.
The guy doing the music for Tenet is Ludwig van Göransson.
Oh, yeah, Community guy. And also Black Panther.
Hans Zimmer's not doing the score for Tenet?
No, he had a choice between doing Tenet or Dune, and he said, yeah, but then he will give me the Oscar, so.
He already has 2 Oscars, doesn't he?
You can always get a third.
Okay.
Spielberg's got 3.
Is there actually a limit to how many you can get?
No.
Oh, okay.
It just depends on whether or not the people that are voting are tired of you. Meryl Streep.
Okay, before we move on here, let's talk about... Josh, did you see that Avengers, the video game thing?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, what did you think?
I like how it looks. I think it looks like a lot of fun. I like that MODOK is the villain. You know what? Having him, like, I had never really heard his voice, like, what was meant to be his voice in anything ever. I hadn't even heard his voice in, like, Marvel vs. Capcom. So... hearing that chilling monologue that he gives voiceover for about, like, hunting in the woods.
Yeah, but was that him or was that supposed to be the leader guy?
I think that was him. If that was him, that was enough to sell me. Okay, MODOK, you get a pass. And I'm sorry for always assuming Patton Oswalt would play you in live action because that was chilling.
Yeah.
I think people are too mean on the game.
I'm not sold.
I can understand that, but I'm sold, and I think people are really mean on the graphics. Somebody went ahead
I
and
don't like the graphics. I really don't. I don't like the visual style.
Somebody said that it looks on par with an N64 game, and I want to say, what N64 games are playing?
I will say
Maybe they mean in terms of the palette.
The facial animation is what gets me. Everything else looks okay. It's a little I'll just brush it off as stylized, but the facial animation I can't get past. It looks gross.
Yeah, I'm just.
This is where I disagree with you. I know, shocker.
Nothing's going to beat Last of Us 2 with graphical overhaul. But...
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. I just the way they're trying to make it a live service kind of game. You know, where they have that kind of persistent online thing that they're doing where like people can just jump in and do the war zones or what have you.
Oh, that's what they're doing?
Yeah, like and also, you know, paid microtransactions for cosmetics and things like that. Like I don't think it's going to be that. I don't see it being a really great game for some reason. And it's Crystal Dynamics and I like them a lot, but it's just that
they're the same people that made Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Wonderful.
They also made the first Tomb Raider reboot, which was awesome. So I don't know. They're a good team. I just feel like this is gonna be pretty not good. That's just my first instinct on it, so it could be completely wrong, and I hope it is wrong, and I hope it's like one of the best games ever, but I feel like we're ready for a dud. I feel like we've had good games pretty much this whole year, good AAA games, and now we're going to, you know, that one's going to be the one that hits, and everybody's going to be like, this is very mediocre.
I think I've mentioned it in one of the episodes of Renegade Arcade or not. I may have mentioned it with friends. I don't remember, but I've loved the idea of different developers and different consoles having exclusives.
Yeah.
Based around Marvel. Like, I would be so on board if Capcom teamed up with Nintendo and did a Heroes for Hire game where it's a side-scrolling beat-em-up where you play as Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and you're just going around New York beating the crap out of criminals.
That does sound like a Switch game.
Or something like, I don't know,
it's old school.
Hell, give it to Naughty Dog. I don't care. Have Naughty Dog do what they usually do, a AAA game, but based on Daredevil. Open world, kind of bare-knuckle fighting and everything in stealth, where you just carry over the listen mode from Last of Us, slap it on Daredevil, be like, oh, hey, there you go. Crystal Dynamics with an Avengers game never made sense to me. Because it just felt... What made Crystal Dynamics so unique to do an ensemble game like that?
It just looks really simplistic to me. Like, the combat looks simplistic. Graphics look kind of simplistic. I don't know. To me, I'm not...
I get it.
I'm just not feeling positive about it.
I get it. You know,
I hope it is good. I really do. Like, I'm gonna say that, like, okay, keep hope alive for it, but that's about.
I get what you mean. They can't all be bug snacks, but you know, we're gonna have to wait and see.
Okay, Jacob, you're next.
Actually, I was thinking about maybe we can talk about our favorite actors, where they are. So you have to give one actor who's dead and one actor who's living. I always like to know who my favorite actor of all time is.
Do it.
Christopher Lee.
Ooh.
Good choice. Good choice.
The classic actor from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, Chris, man, that freaking voice, man. That freaking voice.
He also, he like recorded metal albums into his 80s.
Yes, I was going to mention that.
That guy is more metal than I will ever be, and I fully accept it.
Not just metal too, but they're also actually Christopher Lee. He was a descendant of Charlemagne, the first Holy Emperor of Rome.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and that's
1,000 times more metal than I'll ever be.
Charlemagne. And so that was the kind of albums that he did, was that he would sing as Charlemagne, essentially. Some of the songs include "Let Legend Mark Me as the King" and "Shed the Blood of the Saxon Men."
That sounds metal as fuck.
It does sound metal as fuck. Also recorded for this one Italian heavy metal band called power metal, actually Rhapsody of Fire. And they would do like concept albums that took place in a fantasy world. Oh, also Christopher Lee, he was such a badass. He would fight in the British Secret Service, and he would hunt down Nazis.
I heard about that.
He also, when he was 17, he witnessed the last public execution in France.
Oh my god.
That's by guillotine. He was the last one of the last people to watch it.
He saw the death of the bourgeoisie.
At what age?
17.
What year was that?
1939, I believe.
Jesus.
I know. Actually, also, he climbed a volcano 3 days before it was supposed to erupt.
Oh my god.
Fuck off, Chuck Norris.
Yeah, Chuck. He was also knighted. He was knighted.
Oh.
In his 20s, he was approached to be an opera singer.
So we should really be calling him Sir Christopher Lee.
So yeah, he's done all these amazing things. He was also a cousin of Ian Fleming, the creator of James Bond. And he got to play a Bond villain too.
Alright, Christopher Lee, save some for us.
He also, I'm not done yet.
Holy shit.
Oh no.
He met the men who allegedly assassinated Rasputin. He met J.R.R. Tolkien in a pub, and he got Tolkien's blessing to play Gandalf in Lord of the Rings, should they ever make a Lord of the Rings movie.
But he ended up playing Saruman. Exactly.
It happened.
And also he had the single most he was the most prolific actor of all time, and to Guinness Book of World Records, he had more screen credits than anybody. He was also the tallest actor of all time before Vince Vaughn.
Of all things Vince Vaughn could have been better at.
Being taller than Christopher Lee. And I don't think I have to remind you guys, but he had the single most badass voice of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was
going back to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He can make candy sound goddamn terrifying.
Lollipops.
Chocolate.
All to be called cavities on a stick. What do you call?
Oh, now I remember him.
Caramels. They get stuck in your bracelets one day. He also was fluent in German, French, and Italian.
Legend, man. He's a legend.
And he, of course,
fourth right now.
He passed away a few years ago at the age of 93. So yeah, he had a hell of a life. We could only hope to die after having such an incredible just life. I mean, man, he is feasting with Charlemagne wherever he is.
And he was Dracula many times.
Many Dracula. I'm kind of a Christopher Lee expert, honestly.
Yeah.
A few years ago when I was 18, I just devoured any song, anywhere I could hear his voice. He was also a singer too. Like he would also sing a lot, like in this band. I also heard him sing Ghost Rider in the Sky. It was a Western song. We hear Christopher Lee doing a cowboy accent. Christopher Lee is my favorite actor of all time, but my favorite actor currently living is Willem Dafoe.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe, he just does everything. Like he's a very diverse actor. He's a very
He's done so many. He's done the Green Goblin. He's played Jesus. He's played Vincent Van Gogh. He's played a Vietnam veteran. He's played
Fish.
yeah, a fish. I just love him in everything he's in. He's extremely entertaining and whatever he needs to be, whether it's sinister or sympathetic or just crazy, and he just goes the extra mile, man.
Yeah.
He's the most prolific actor that I respect whose penis I've seen.
What?
Excuse me?
Lars von Trier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, but I thought you actually saw it in person.
Yes, I met Willem Dafoe in person, and I did not ask him, oh, hey, Mr. Dafoe, will you be in one of my movies?
Okay. Keona, who's your favorite actor?
Actually, we'll let Josh and Kristal go first.
So you go.
Oh my God! Why are you guys all dumping this on me,
Because
Jacob?
ladies first.
You're like the pop quiz teacher. I hate this. I was not ready for this. I'm not really good at remembering names, so I'm not gonna be good at this. The first name that I can think of for dead actor, Gene Wilder.
Yeah, that's good. Not bad.
In fact, did we actually go on our first date or was that earlier?
That was like when we first realized that I really liked you. It was on the day
Okay.
Gene Wilder died.
Yeah.
Awkward.
Yeah, it was awkward, but it was because of that we got the ball rolling, and I was like, "Yo, we want to watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory together?" And she said yes. But no, Gene Wilder in general is just always amazing. He was probably one of the best parts in that really weird Woody Allen movie that was an anthology comedy based on a book called Everything You Wanted to Know About Sex But Was Too Afraid to Ask.
What I totally want to hear from Woody Allen.
In that one, he plays a psychiatrist who falls in love with a goat. And God damn it to hell, Gene Wilder sells it.
Mm.
He looks at that goat with the emotion like a lost lover.
Okay.
And he plays it totally straight too. All that, and you still haven't seen Young Frankenstein, have you?
I have not. I really want
Frankenstein.
He's the master of coming up with the comedic pause. Like my favorite, I still haven't seen Blazing Saddles also, where he's like, these are simple farmers, people of the land, morons.
That's the best.
Hey.
And a live actor? Who's your favorite alive actor? Who's your favorite actor that's alive, that is kicking?
Shut
and
up, Josh!
breathing? Who's your favorite alive actor?
Okay, well, I don't know if this one really counts, but I'm gonna say it counts. Rob Paulson.
Oh, okay, that counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love him. I just love him to bits.
Okay, you get off light with that. That's a good one. You have to be a hipster and go with the voice actor, but I respect that.
You know I love him.
I mean, don't we all?
Yes.
You gotta finish that croissant.
Croissant. No, you.
I can't tell you. I cannot tell you how many people I had come up to me at Starbucks and say, "I would like a croissant."
I would like a croissant.
Exactly.
Like a. No, let me try it again. Let me try it again.
Do it.
I just like the people who go the Gordon Ramsay route and call it croissant.
Oh my god, that just reminds me of the remix of Redbone by Childish Gambino, where they sung over it in Carl Weezer's voice from Jimmy Neutron, so you have daylight, and instead of saying that word, it's like, so stay woke, llama's creeping.
One of my favorite Carl Weezer moments is when they're having a school election and Libby, Sheen, and Jimmy and Boldy are voting, are they're running, and so they keep giving Carl a button, and Jimmy notices it. But Carl, I'm your best friend. You're supposed to vote for me. And Carl's like, yeah, but there was the money and the pictures and the slap, and he just screams, "Stop the world! I want to get off!" And he's.
My favorite is Carl Weezer's cover of Weezer's "Say It Ain't So." Please say Russell and Jimmy. Russell with Jimmy. Russell and Jimmy.
Anyway.
Say it ain't so.
Anyway.
What were we talking about?
Favorite actors? You said Rob Paulson.
Okay, Josh.
Your turn.
Mine are Robin Williams.
Yes.
He's dead, of course, and Christ.
Yeah, that's hard.
That actually really hit me too, because I was working at like CVS or something at the time, and then I heard that, and for some reason it made me very, very sad.
I remember
that, and working at CVS makes you sad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I remember when I found out, I was walking to a friend of mine's that I cannot stand anymore, that lived right in my same neighborhood. And I was walking to her house, and she was the one of all people that told me, "Hey, Robin Williams is dead."
Oh, man.
And I said, "No."
I remember I found out when I was just coming down come to the kitchen to get something to eat, and my mom was listening to the radio, and she just said, "Robin Williams died," and that just, I just didn't know how to react to that. It was just so unexpected. I was just kind of numb, and it was just awful, and I couldn't believe it.
I remember I was in 7th grade. I was walking through the halls, and I just see this stupid Instagram post. It was like, "Oh, never forget, blah, 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 blah," some stupid sappy stuff. But then I actually looked into what happened, and I was just devastated for the rest of the day.
Yeah. It's like finding out your grandpa's gone. And Robin Williams had a lot of range.
He did.
I'm going to say this, Robin Williams single-handedly makes Insomnia my favorite Christopher Nolan movie. Just seeing him play a psychotic killer with the same calm that he usually has is downright bone-chilling. But my personal favorite Robin Williams movie is The Fisher King.
I've heard of that, yeah.
It is absolutely sweet and loving and wild and crazy. It's a Terry Gilliam movie. But it's one of the ones where it's a happy ending instead. So instead of making you feel like you just had a weird acid trip for 2 hours.
Well, I mean, it still makes you feel like you had a weird acid trip for 2 hours.
Well, yeah, but then you come out of it feeling happy instead of feeling like you don't know what you just experienced or like you want to die, like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Anyway, my favorite living actor, on the flip note, I'd probably say Ryan Gosling.
Really?
Interesting.
He's like, in my opinion, the modern Gene Wilder. Like, he can pull off the straight man so perfectly. But when he's allowed to be funny, oh my God, he knocks it out of the park. The Nice Guys is just probably one of his best roles.
Yes.
But he can also just,
I just think of the scene when he's getting his arm broken.
But he can also play it very straight and do some good dramatic stuff. And, I gotta give it to Damien Chazelle for, giving him La La Land.
And First Man.
And First Man. That made me realize, you know what? I'm happy I don't want to be an astronaut because that sounds absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Robin Williams and not Gene Wilder, Ryan Gosling.
Interesting.
So, Keona, who's your favorite dead actor?
I'm going to go with Bruce Lee.
Not bad.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Bruce Lee because if there's anyone who I'd like to just have a conversation with, it would be Bruce Lee. Yeah. Because that guy, not only did he have screen presence, he also was he's amazingly intelligent. Have you ever read his biographies and stuff and the Tao of Jeet Kune Do and everything? I mean, it's just he's so smart.
He strikes me as a very philosophical man.
Very philosophical. Yeah.
Very disciplined.
So, yeah. I could imagine just just hanging out with the guy and just having like a deep conversation about life.
Yeah. And his death is still a mystery, isn't it?
I think that what they've said is that he died of an aneurysm.
Mm. What's sad also is that his son Brandon Lee also was on the set of The Crow. He was accidentally killed by a gun blank that was jammed.
And I really I liked Brandon as well. Like he did this movie called Rapid Fire, which is just a complete late 80s, early 90s action, just one of those action movies. But I don't know, for some reason it was just cool to see him in it. He had something similar to what his father had.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I mean, just in terms of screen presence and everything. Like I wouldn't, maybe not the greatest actors in the world, but interesting people.
Yeah, like Christopher Lee, for instance, who also had amazing screen presence, and that's why he's my favorite actor of all time.
Exactly. For living actors, I would say Al Pacino.
Not bad. Not bad.
I have some depth. Come on, guys.
No, yeah. I can't believe I didn't think about him too. Just him and Dog Day Afternoon. Just
Oh yeah. I think for me, like, the defining role for him is Heat.
All-time.
Or Big Boy Caprice and Dick Tracy.
We still gotta get Kristal.
Or as actually no, that's really wrong. His defining role was himself in Jack and Jill.
Dunkachino.
Okay.
Say hello to my chocolate blend.
He is great. He's great. The guy's great, man. He can do that kind of thing. He can do, like, every time he's on screen, he's just fun.
No, I'm just getting warmed up. It was also good in The Irishman. I'm sure you've seen that.
Yes. Yep.
It was good seeing
great
him in Irishman and in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh yeah, he was in that one too. I forgot.
Yeah.
I seldom ever think of Al Pacino as a teddy bear, but in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he was just so lovable.
You know who else I would say too? Like, my backup choice that I almost said was Michael Keaton.
Not bad. Yeah, he's a very unpredictable actor, Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
It's so, and it's pretty convenient for you to say that because he's going to be playing Batman again in the Flash movie.
Is that confirmed?
I think it is.
I think it's because Andy Muschietti, the guy that did It, chapters 1 and 2, since he's working from his own script now and not from the one that Ezra Miller and Grant Morrison were doing, he wanted to involve he wanted to change a few things, and one of the things he wanted to change was taking out Flashpoint's Batman with Thomas Wayne and introducing the multiverse with the Burtonverse. So,
I mean, that kind of ties into Flash's appearance in Crisis too.
Yeah.
On the TV shows.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that was a big event. It was where all these different versions of the same character, like Brandon Routh returned as Superman.
Yeah. Yep.
And Burt Ward.
Yeah, Burt Ward had a cameo, and the guy that played Alexander Knox in the '89 Batman had a cameo.
Yeah, I remember that. It's weird. Of course, Michael Keaton. That was like the first time I think a casting decision was met with real backlash.
Yeah, that's true.
That was because back then he was only known for playing comedies, for being in comedies and such. And so when they heard, if that decision was made today, we would never have gotten it. And people still say that he's the best Batman.
Oh yeah. I like that he was different, and I like that he was kind of, he brought a certain, like you say, he's unpredictable, and I like that he brought that to the character a little bit.
Yeah, I even liked it, even when he was Bruce Wayne, he had his moments, like when the Joker comes by Kim Basinger's
Vicky Vale
apartment. You want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Mm-hmm.
He really plays Batman like a schizophrenic. He plays him like a psycho.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
And not in a bad way, like a Frank Miller, I'm the goddamn Batman kind of way. In a more kind of horror villain kind of way.
Yeah, there's a bit of that.
And he comes in and he scares the shit out of everybody, and you totally buy it.
Yeah. He's also, able to play Batman and smile and be threatening too.
Yeah.
When Val Kilmer smiled, he just looked goofy.
He had a very dry sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
But Val
Bruce Wayne and as Batman.
Val Kilmer had Nicole Kidman in his pocket.
That's true.
Who wouldn't smile at that?
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
Well, both Michael Keane and Val Kilmer are better than George Clooney, at least.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna say a hot take.
Go.
Oh God!
Go.
Oh God! Don't tell me.
George
No.
Clooney is a good Bruce Wayne. In fact, I dare say he's the perfect Bruce Wayne.
Fair enough.
Because he's able to sell that smugness that on the outside you'd associate with Bruce Wayne with the paparazzi, but is able to give off just enough vulnerability that you believe there's a person underneath all that smug glitz and glamour.
Kind of like Kevin Conroy in the animated series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kevin Conroy. I think Kevin Conroy is probably the best Bruce Wayne I've ever seen, just because he was very convincing as a playboy, as a spoiled guy who's got the world around his finger, basically, and it's, of course, he's a polar opposite from Batman. That's what makes it perfect.
Yeah, Kevin Conroy has more emotion in his voice than George Clooney does in his entire body. That's sorry.
True. That's true. Which I gotta say, I was watching an episode of Batman the Animated Series with Harley Quinn, and just because I had forgotten what the original voice actress sounded like after all these years, and it was Harley's Holiday, where Harley Quinn is let go from Arkham Asylum, and she ends up getting kind of scared back into going into crime because, everybody doesn't believe that she'll turn over a new leaf, and she accidentally steals a dress. And Bruce goes to the dressing room and he's like, "Miss, I know that it's very difficult for you, but come on, you don't want to walk back on your first day, miss." And then she swings open the door after ripping off a mannequin's arm, and she's dressed in that one piece. She's like, "I tried to go straight. I tried to leave it all behind, but no, you people won't let me. Society's to blame." And he reaches out his hand so that way she could pick him up. And she's like, "Back off, rich boy. I'm armed." And then hits her with the mannequin arm.
Classic Harley.
That's
Classic Harley.
Perfect Harley. That is everything that I felt, because I got so used to not hearing her voice. I was like, I don't know if I can hear her voice the same again. And then that line, it all came flooding back.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good episode too.
Speaking of the new Flashpoint movies, they're also saying that Joel Schumacher movies never happened, and announcing that immediately after Joel Schumacher died, I thought was in pretty bad taste.
Yeah, that's a little harsh.
Right.
There was one website that said, Joel Schumacher, the man who created bat nipples, is dead.
Oh God, that was just terrible. I heard that.
No, that's uncool.
Yeah.
Come on.
You know what? People don't give Joel Schumacher enough credit. They act like Batman and Robin was the only movie he ever did.
Yeah.
Exactly. I loved Falling Down. Loved Falling Down.
Remembers the Lost Boys?
Yeah, Lost Boys. Yeah.
Actually, and also Joel Schumacher, he was a man with enough humility to apologize for Batman and Robin.
Yeah, and I mean, he could have had like another chance at it. He could have had another shot at it, in my opinion. Like, if you actually let him make a movie like the Batman movie that he really wanted to make, maybe it would have turned out different.
Yeah, I think he originally pitched Batman Year One. He wanted to direct that was going to be his movie. It was going to be a prequel.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be, and Batman Year One is one of those Batman stories that redefined the character into the dark persona that we all know, along with Dark Knight Returns and The Killing Joke. Actually, Tim Burton personally picked Joel Schumacher after a lunch they had. They had lunch together, and Tim Burton just knew that he felt deep down that Joel Schumacher was the perfect director.
And then the studio said, "We want to sell more toys, so make it flashy."
Yeah. And also, Joel, I think he laid a lot of the problems, a bit of the problems on Akiva Goldsman, the writer, which I believe, because Akiva Goldsman, I don't think is probably not the best writer out there. Joel Schumacher, he also directed, before the Batman movies. He directed some John Grisham adaptations, like
Yeah,
The
The
Client and
Client,
A Time to Kill.
Time to Kill. Yeah.
Yeah, were those good?
I thought The Client was good.
Yeah.
It's kind of typical, but it was good
Yeah.
for what it was. The Time to Kill was very dramatic. I haven't seen it in a long time, so when I first saw it, I thought it was good. Yeah, I mean, I always thought that Schumacher was actually a good director, and then
Yeah.
and then we saw Batman and Robin, and it's everybody's like, oh well.
Joel Schumacher is basically Sam Raimi without the restraint.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, true. I could see that.
You always come up with the perfect analogies, Josh. Seriously.
Josh knows his directors.
I was rewatching Batman Forever like a couple days ago. I was showing Kristal the insanity of it and the fact that it was probably the horniest movie I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, well,
And,
it kind of was.
It hit me because Joel Schumacher has a flair for over-the-top comic booky visuals like Sam Raimi. But the problem is, like, he doesn't know when to hold back, and it causes huge emotional whiplash. Like, there's two perfect scenes, no, 3 perfect scenes in Batman Forever that I really love. And one is when he's talking with Robin, and he's basically telling Robin that the quest for revenge is futile. It's just going to lead to this huge cycle, and you're just going to end up taking it out on people that don't deserve it. And Chris O'Donnell, he's just like, "Oh, what makes you think that? You don't know me." And he just looks at him and says, "I am you." Like, that's perfect Bruce Wayne psychology shit. Mm-hmm. And the other scene that I loved is where I love it for the insanity of it, but it's when Dick saves the rest of the circus from the bomb. And he sees his parents dead. Like, I think it's pretty well executed for the insanity of it, except for Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
And the last one that I love is when Bruce is telling Chase about his visions, about what happened the day he went to his parents' funeral, which I stand is the best telling of Bruce discovering the Batcave ever, where he falls and he says that he fell forever. And he looks up and he was scared for just a moment, and he saw a bat flying towards him.
I have to admit that, like, there's something that I miss about those earlier superhero films, which is that they didn't have to be so grounded. Yeah. Like, I feel like, you could have gotten away with those visuals that were a little more dreamlike, a little more stylized. Whereas now it's like everything has to be so, like, realism, and it's just
like... Yeah, they could be even cheesy, too.
Something like Diamond Absolutes fit really perfectly in the 90s.
I don't know. Maybe, no. Okay, now you're making me rethink my last statement, Josh.
No, but it's serious because Batman v Superman and Man of Steel are so grounded that it makes those moments where they want to go dreamy feel very surreal and out of place compared to the rest of the movie. And the perfect bookend with that scene in question in Batman Forever is when Chase is like, "What are you trying to say?" And then she kisses him, and without saying anything, she leans back and realizes through the kiss, because she had kissed Batman.
She realizes who he is,
Yeah.
Realizes who he is, and rather than cut away, I think they do cut away, but you see her slowly break into a smile. And I just think, oh my God, that's visual. I love that.
I gotta say, 14-year-old Keona loved Nicole Kidman in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, but it's true.
You didn't love Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman?
Of course.
Okay.
That was 11-year-old me, though. I don't think I was quite as awakened.
Couldn't you tell also Batman Forever that Tommy Lee Jones hated Jim Carrey?
I think Tommy Lee Jones wanted to play it seriously at first, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't surprise me that because
he would have made a great Two-Face if he was serious. Like,
but
if he played it for real. Yeah.
Josh, are you aware of the first time that Jim Carrey spoke to Tommy Lee Jones before they started filming and what Tommy Lee Jones said to him?
What happened? Because I don't remember.
Listen, because it was they were cast around 94. Jim Carrey as Riddler and Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. And in the winter of 1994, Tommy Lee Jones starred in a movie called Cobb, which was his big passion project, and it was outgrossed by Dumb and Dumber. So
Oh no.
when Jim Carrey met Tommy Lee Jones at a restaurant, you know what Tommy Lee Jones said to Jim Carrey?
What?
He said, "I hate you," to his face, and he told Jim Carrey, "I cannot sanction your buffoonery."
Woo!
They didn't get along swimmingly, as you can predict from that. Things got a little heated between them.
It is actually really hard to think of the scenes with both of them together then.
Yeah, when they're cackling maniacally and stuff.
And especially when Tommy Lee Jones has to play second fiddle to Jim Carrey.
Yeah, and you know what's another part that damages the Tommy Lee Jones portrayal as Two-Face? When they're invading Bruce's mansion and Two-Face is constantly flipping that coin until he gets the one that tells him that he can kill Bruce Wayne. That just ruins the entire point of Two-Face, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like Two-Face would be upset with the fact that he didn't get what he wanted, but he would respect it. But you know what? It's worth it just to hear Tommy Lee Jones go, ah!
I like the part where he kills the driver or something, and then he goes, "We'll drive, thank you."
Oh yeah.
Also, isn't it weird that after his parents died, Robin, who apparently he's in his 20s in this movie, and yet he has to find a guardian.
Yeah.
He has to talk with
Yeah.
social services, but then later on, because I was thinking, all right, they're trying to say 17. Okay, I get that. But then you have Bruce say, "How about Dick Grayson, college student?" And it's like, okay, so you're aware that he looks like he's in his 20s.
Do you consider Batman Forever a sequel to the Tim Burton movies, or do you think that's a full-blown reboot? Because that's kind of how I see it.
I see it more as a sequel, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it's hard for me to kind of accept that because of how different it is to the Tim Burton movies.
Yeah, I see your point.
And also, the cast, with the exception of Michael Gough as Alfred and Pat Hingle as
Gordon. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's an entirely different cast. And I think you can just write it off as even like I think those two actors. I think they're the only thing linking all four actors.
Well, the doctor, Chase Meridian does mention skin tight vinyl and a whip.
Yeah, but that's Catwoman. It's not like Batman Returns was the first Catwoman movie. I mean,
I mean, you could say
all that means is that Catwoman exists in Batman and the Joel Schumacher universe.
Yeah, I don't know. I never thought of it that way though. I thought of it as a sequel.
This is my interpretation, where it's like it is a sequel in the sense that Batman and Batman Returns are Batman's dark period, where he's going through a lot of stuff, and the movies reflect that. The city's very gothic horror and everything. And after Batman Returns, Bruce is trying to move on. He's trying to find some semblance of stability in his life. And Batman Forever and Batman and Robin are all about him trying to find love again, trying to find a family again, something to ground him. And the movies kind of reflect that in how flashy they are, almost overwhelming Bruce with forced happiness, forced positivity, until he forges an actual positive connection with Robin.
Deep, man.
I'm planning on doing a video. Like, I have 2 videos that I want to do soon of the cinematic setbacks of Spider-Man, where I go through each Spider-Man adaptation, and I talk about the positives and the flaws that each adaptation has. That's the Raimi, the Webb, the MCU version, and even Spider-Verse, because I do think, as much as I think Spider-Verse is perfect, I think there are some flaws that hold it back from being a perfect Spider-Man movie. And I want to do the same thing with Batman, because between Tim Burton, Joel Schumacher, Christopher Nolan, and Zack Snyder, and maybe even Matt Reeves, I don't think any version has gotten Batman perfect.
I think I think the best Batman movie of all is probably Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
And even then, I think there's still a flaw there. There's still a couple flaws there, but I think there's one major flaw that I think holds it back. You guys can...
I think in terms of live action movies, I think there hasn't been anything that came as close as Mask of the Phantasm, though.
Yeah, but I think the problem with Mask of the Phantasm, in a weird way, is that it's almost too fast for its own good. Like, the pacing is too perfect where I feel like they could have lingered on some things a little bit more.
Okay.
That's fair.
But that's me.
I'm still looking forward to Matt Reeves, the Batman. That looks dope as hell.
I like the Batmobile.
Me too.
Jacob,
Yeah.
Jacob, you and me are gonna be alone on this compared to Keona. He does not like what he's seeing so far.
Yeah.
You don't really? You're not impressed? I think it has loads of potential. I think
I think maybe story-wise it does. It depends on what their take is. It depends on if they're going to do something really different or if they're just going to retread the same ground.
Well, they
I like Matt Reeves. I like him as a director, so I'm curious about it. But
yeah, I
don't like the look of the Batmobile at all.
I love the look of really because I think it looks like a car. It looks like
that's the thing. It looks like a car. I don't like it looking like a car. It should look special.
Here's what I don't get. Here's what I don't get about the Batmobile. Here's what I don't get. Shouldn't that be a dead giveaway that Bruce Wayne is Batman?
Why do you think so?
Because like who else in Gotham could afford a car like that?
I like it when the Batmobile go vroom vroom and it got the wings in the back.
I feel like the only movie that's gotten the Batmobile right is The Incredibles.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know. I like the '89 Batmobile, so maybe that's why, nothing will ever approach that for me.
Okay.
Okay, that was one of the cool things in Batman versus Superman and BVS was that the Batmobile was actually cool. I thought it was. I thought it was. I don't mind the guns, okay? I don't mind the guns. The '89 Batmobile had guns.
Yeah, it did. It
also had a shell that would cover it somehow, and I mean, like, it was stupid. But,
It's okay, Kristal. I feel you. Incredibles is still the best no matter what, but...
I don't know. It's just... I don't know. Like I said, I'm not completely closed off to it, but...
I am excited as hell for Paul Dano as the Riddler, though.
Yeah, that's another thing. The cast for the Batman, it's out of the box. It really is. Like with Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, and Colin Farrell as the Penguin, and Andy Serkis as Alfred.
Keona's over here like, eh.
I think I like that. I thought for Alfred they were gonna go for another posh actor like Michael Caine or Jeremy Irons, but Andy Serkis, he's a very talented character actor, and I think I like to see him pull him off.
It's really brave that they got the award-winning director of Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. But you know what? That's just diversity in the directing pool, You can let a director of Sony be in your Warner Brothers movie.
Remember when Andy Serkis directed that Jungle Book movie?
Oh, we don't talk about that.
I thought it was okay. I will say that it was pretty weird that they used motion capture for the animals.
Yeah.
Seeing a panther with Christian Bale's face.
I got a thing I want to end the show on.
Go for it.
If you guys are cool with it.
Let's hear it.
Do you guys know YouTube?
Yeah.
I know of it.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay, so do you know about this guy named Shane Dawson?
Oh God. Okay, I assume that this was your final rant is, Josh. So I'm just gonna let you have it.
See, because I debated about ending on a big rant on Camila Cabello and her god awful fucking dog chew toy voice. But you know what? I want to save that for another time when you guys actually know what I'm talking about. But this one is very interesting to me because Shane Dawson has incurred the wrath of the Smiths, as in Jaden, Willow, and Jada Pinkett Smith. Apparently, yeah, he's been getting a lot of flack lately. He was a moderately respected YouTuber.
Not moderately. He was like one of the OGs.
Yeah, and he was respected, especially lately, for doing psychological fluff piece documentaries on Jake Paul. But
And several other things.
and several other things, but he more or less had a respectable reputation, and it's all come crashing down in the wake of everything that's been happening, especially after another YouTuber named Jenna Marbles, who's probably one of the kinder personalities on the internet, decided to leave YouTube for a while because fans saw a video where she had a really bad spray tan and thought she was doing blackface. And she decided, you know what? I like to think I've changed, but people don't think so. I completely understand that, and I think what the best thing for me to do would be to take a break from YouTube, and she quit. She quit the internet, and Shane Dawson decided to, inspired by her video, came out and more or less addressed all the controversies that he had been a part of in the past, including racist videos involving children, all this and this and that, and a little thing that happened last year where him and a couple other people dragged another creator named James Charles through the mud with false allegations or what have you. If they're even false, I don't know, because that whole drama was hard to even follow. But there's possibility that those allegations weren't even true, and Shane Dawson more or less went along with them because apparently this kid who was 19 years old felt like he was getting too big an ego and needed to be served a slice of humble pie. Those were his words in a statement. And most of his apology was just deflecting on everybody, and it reached a point where they started resurfacing a whole bunch of footage of his past jokes where he was pretending to get off to a poster of Willow Smith.
When she was 11.
And that song, I Whip My Hair Back and Forth, came out. And Jaden Smith came out pissed that he just discovered the video and went after Shane. And his mom, Jada Pinkett, came out and said, Shane, it's time to stop with the excuses. So it's like pissing off the family of Fred Rogers. You don't incur that kind of wrath, but
Shane did.
I'm of a weird thought with Shane Dawson as a person, because if I can be blunt, I feel like he's spineless. And I can say that in more ways than one, because I'm planning on doing a video on him, not for his controversies, but also for another thing. I've got a series I want to do called Pipe Dreamers, where I look at artists' passion projects, like stuff that they've done that's purely them, and I look at the context in which it was released, the production, if applicable, and what that piece of art says about them as artists, as people. And Shane Dawson stepped into the cinematic world with Not Cool in 2014, and this is going to break your heart, Keona. It starred Jeremy Lay.
Oh, yeah. I met her once.
She's such a kind soul, isn't she?
She's very sweet. Yeah.
And I fear that Shane Dawson ruined her career cinematically in a movie where a homeless man eats his own shit. That's enough to say.
Man.
Yeah, but
Yep.
for research for this and inspired by all the headlines, I wanted to see what I could gather about Shane Dawson as a person through Not Cool and the production of it, and I found the fucking mecca of research. There is a documentary series that came out on Starz a long time ago called The Chair. It was produced by Zachary Quinto, and in it he had two filmmakers. One was Shane Dawson, and the other was a filmmaker named Anna Martimucci. And they were both first-time filmmakers, obviously, and the idea was these two producers, one of them was the producer of American Pie, they decided to give both of these people $600,000 or $800,000 to make their first feature-length movie. And I didn't think anything of it. Jacob, Keona, you're probably wondering, okay, Josh, why are you ranting about this? Why are you giving so much backstory? I'm telling you, there's a purpose.
Okay, continue.
Yeah.
I've followed enough of Shane Dawson lately before the controversy to get an impression of what people think about him. People think that he's a sweet, compassionate person that sticks up for his friends.
That's a lie.
That would never sell them down the river. That is just a sensitive soul.
That's a lie.
You're right in more ways than one, because
Yeah.
people will look at this and say, you know what, this was back in 2014. People change in that time. And you know what? I'm not about to say that people aren't capable of change. I was one of the people that supported James Gunn during everything that went down with his firing from Guardians of the Galaxy. His thesis statement in all the Guardians films is about how fucked up people change with love in their life. So believe me when I tell you that watching this docu-series of Shane Dawson making his first feature-length film, it told me everything about him, not only as an artist, but as a person. In the docu-series, he is fucking horrible to his crew and to his friend, who is a producer on it, that he brought on as a producer, who's his close friend at the time in his YouTube series. And he is just an all-around horrible person to be around in that time. And people would, if there are listeners that are willing to jump down my neck and defend, oh, well, Shane, it was, again, at that time. He's not like that now. When you see somebody gaslight their friend in front of a crew and basically shame them to being kicked out of the room because apparently they brought on a bad stink of a mood in the whole room, when you see them go off and just be shitty to casting extras and say that these out of work extras should be proud, should be glad to be auditioning for a major film in Pittsburgh, when you see him just completely go off on people just because they dare to say, you know what, maybe if you want more people to be involved and want to be cast in your movie, maybe you should dial back the running gag where a homeless man eats his own shit and act like he's goddamn Stanley motherfucking Kubrick with his movie. When you see all of that, it is enough to sour your opinion on anybody. And the worst of it, it wasn't even any of that, but it was what he said in one of the episodes. Because in one of the episodes, it was that same thing that I said where he kicked out his producer friend who was, because they were shooting at a tattoo shop. And the tattoo shop owner, that the morning of the shoot, had actually taken the time to watch Shane Dawson's videos and said, you know what, I can't, if I had seen these videos before, I wouldn't have signed off on this. I don't like his videos. They're racist, they're sexist, they're homophobic. I fucking hate this. I would kick his ass. I'm not going to kick you guys out because I know it would set everybody else back, and I don't want to blame everybody else for what one person did. But it was enough to get everybody on edge, and they were like, you know what, Shane, this is a pretty big scene where he's getting his ear pierced, and it's supposed to look like a Tarantino kind of blood effect where he gets his ear pierced and it's just blood shooting everywhere. And they tell him, you know what, because of the severity of everything, why don't we just make sure that you're fast with your shoots, you know? And Shane took it as a personal attack and just started bitching out his producer. And the crew was just like, oh man, you guys brought down the fucking mood. Oh shit. And the producer was just trying to play calm, trying to play nice, like, oh, I'm sorry, that's on me. And Shane said, you know what? Why don't you just get out of the set for a little while? You're really bringing this bad stink. And it lingers on her sitting outside of the room while they shoot the scene. And he carried that tension to another location that they were shooting at. And he says in a later thing near the end of the episode that they had a conversation in the car ride back to the hotel and that they talked it out. And his justification for everything, which just blew my fucking mind, he said, I told her that I was sorry that I yelled at her, and I told her that I snap at the people that I love. I'm seeing your look, Keona, and I'm telling you right now, that is the same look that I had. I was actually editing a Tuned Up, which people are going to hear soon, and I had to stop everything the second I heard that. I was blown away.
That's something I would say.
That's so toxic. That's unbelievable.
And you mean to tell me somebody who's willing to say that on camera, being candid, being honest, somebody who said that honestly, changed in that time? That is...
It's doubtful.
Despicable.
Yeah, very doubtful.
Yeah.
That's what we see on camera. What is he doing off camera?
Most people who present themselves as being kind-hearted, okay, I won't say most, I'll say some people who present themselves as being kind-hearted people who are, you know, just the most compassionate people on the planet. Usually that's not the case. Usually that's done for PR or it's done to cultivate an image in the public. I feel like in a lot of ways, like critical thinking is being lost in the world today. And I feel like a lot of people just, like, if you're a celebrity, they take you at face value that you are who you present, and that's not true.
Yeah.
Like, even to a degree, like I'm not who I present to people when I'm online or when I'm even on these podcasts, to a degree. I just think that people sort of take it for granted now that you know what these guys are saying is true because, I don't know, because of parasocial relationships, whatever, what have you. But I think that no one really thinks that, like, maybe this person is not who they say they are.
Yeah.
I don't know really what my point was. I was just kind of going off what you were saying about how everybody kind of treats this guy like he's some kind of, you know... Yeah.
I get it. And I'm totally sorry for bringing down the mood, but it's just...
No.
I've been sitting on this while I've been editing and while all the news has been coming out about Shane Dawson. And I feel it's even more concerning, and I kind of feel it coming to a head because on YouTube, the main goal of the platform was exactly what its slogan was, which was broadcast yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So it almost carries this expectation that when you're on YouTube, you're projecting exactly who you are to an audience. And people look at Shane, who is especially one of the original heads of YouTube. He was up there. He was the most subscribed channel on YouTube.
Yeah, I remember that.
And people look at him and they think, that's what he's like. That's him. And you know what? He's so genuine a person. And I'm not about to say that all YouTubers are like this, you know, not that all YouTubers are snakes, because I know firsthand there are some people on the platform that are absolute fucking awesome people. Like I said, Jenna Marbles, who was actually one of the sweetest people on the platform. One of the people that I've been talking to on some level through comments, but I helped him out with a GoFundMe, Godzilla Mendoza. He's such a sweetheart on there. There are genuine, honest people on the platform, and that's why seeing somebody like Shane Dawson constantly being heaped with praise, given chance after chance because he's such a nice guy. And finally getting to see past the Babe in the Woods act that he has, it is absolutely disgusting that he represents us as a platform. As a YouTuber, I find it insulting. And this brings me to Not Cool, the movie, because this is kind of spoiling the point I want to make in that video, which it's kind of a two-parter because I was going to do a second part in that series Pipe Dreamers on Demo Reel by Doug Walker. But I feel you get to see what Shane is about as a person philosophically in that movie. Because just like Doug Walker, he tries to make sympathy in the world around him. He tries to move on from his platform and try and do stuff that is, you know, real art. Something that, you know, can definitely help him evolve as an artist. But artistically, rather than move past the gross out humor and the stupid gags and jokes and the constant need to be loud and obnoxious,
just for shock value.
Rather than move past that, he hangs on it like a crutch because that's what his fans would expect. He stars in the movie because that's what his fans would expect. That's what would bring them to the seats. He's maintaining
a brand.
He makes it a comedy because that's what his fans are used to. He does all of this because he's so stuck in that echo chamber that he is unwilling to take constructive criticism. He is unwilling to change fundamentally. And that clashes with the thesis of the film, which is ultimately about letting go of the past. And it says a lot about him as a person because he describes himself as an introvert. He doesn't go to parties. He doesn't go to any of these big gatherings. He mostly stays to himself. So how does he portray these big social gatherings in his film that he fought to get a co-writing credit, even though he just talked to the writer and said, hey, can you do these things for me? Oh, yeah, sure. You know what? Since I suggested those things, I should be the co-writer. Fuck off. How does he choose to portray these things? He portrays them as loud, just bordellos of sin, where all anybody can think of is getting drunk, getting fucked up on drugs, or getting fucked, or just spewing vomit or shit everywhere. And he views genuine emotion as someone who is willing to put up with that shit and look past the quote unquote superficiality of social gatherings. It clashes with the idea that you move past your negativity of the past to find positivity in the future. It is essentially Shane Dawson saying, you know what? Looking at all these disgusting things, you're right to feel the way you are. And comedy is broad. Comedy is, you're able to take the ridiculous and make something funny out of it, even if it's a joke for shock value. But when it is overwhelming, you almost can't help but take it at face value. It is like if Tom Green did a fucking John Hughes movie by way of Freddy Got Fingered. It is absolutely abhorrent, and it is probably taking over Cool World as probably the worst movie I've ever seen in my fucking life. Because when I watch it, I see nothing but the shittiness of Shane Dawson. I see darkness in this movie's eyes, black eyes, like a doll's eyes. And that's all I can say. Just fuck Shane Dawson and fuck Not Cool. And you know what? I want to make this plea out there to all the listeners on Spotify, on wherever you're listening to this. Which, hey, we're on Spotify now.
Yes, we are.
If you get a chance, dear listeners, please go support Anna Martimucci and go watch her version of the film, because the challenge of the chair was that both Shane Dawson and Anna were given the same script and were tasked with reshaping it to their vision and making the movie their way. So, like, they had to keep the same characters, same tone, same structure, but turn it into their fundamentally different film. Go online, go to Amazon or iTunes or wherever, and go watch Anna's version of Not Cool called Holidaysburg. It stars Rachel Keller, pre-Fargo, pre-Legion. And you know what? I haven't seen it myself, but that poor woman got railroaded by the popularity of Shane Dawson. She lost the competition solely because Shane Dawson had a subscriber base of 2 million people at the time, and he was able to use that audience to watch his movie. And while he had to warn them not to cheat, of course they were going to cheat for him because they know him over her, a genuine, humble talent that was trying their best to break into the film industry. Fuck Shane Dawson. I am so sorry. I am really sorry for taking up this last bit of just to be on a soapbox. Jacob, are you okay? You haven't said anything.
Okay, I've kind of zoned out of this. I just kind of like surfed for other stuff, because I really don't have anything to add about this Shane Dawson debacle.
Fuck me. I don't think I've been this angry ever. I gave Ernie Klein a pass over this guy.
Yeah.
So is that it? You finished?
You let it all out?
Sure. Yeah. I'm done. Until you guys see the video, which won't be for a while, but I've gotten as much out as I can right now. Just holy fuck. Okay. This is definitely going to be an adult-rated podcast.
We'll do another. One day we'll do another mental health podcast, and then we can do more rants.
I am so sorry I brought the mood down.
You're cool, man. Hey, you know what? You know what I also want to say is I feel like one of the things that I did want to bring up before we close out is that, by the way, you know that little game, that one little game that we mentioned earlier that's called The Last of Us 2. You know that little game?
I think I've heard of it. I think
it's
the one that on the Vita?
The one that everybody hates online, you know that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Guess how many units it sold?
4 million.
Mm-hmm.
It is the highest selling PlayStation game ever. The highest selling PlayStation 4 game ever.
Yeah.
At launch.
So I watched this spoiler cast that they had with Neil Druckmann and Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker, where the two lead actors in the game, as well as Neil Druckmann, the director of the game. And he said he's been getting anti-Semitic comments, which I'm frankly not shocked by, given the part of the fandom that is mobilizing against this game. And also that Laura Bailey, the voice actress who plays Abby, has been getting like some terrible comments sent her way as well, just because she plays Abby. And Laura Bailey, who has been featured in so many games and so much anime and so many cartoons and stuff. I mean, she's a very talented voice actress. So it just makes me feel profoundly sad that people spend their time just making like vile comments at people for fictitious roles and for a video game, you know, like if you don't like it, just don't play it. Just don't play it. Like seriously, this isn't rocket science, guys. There are more important things in this world. You know, the world's on fire and we're arguing about a video game and we're sending anti-Semitic comments and all that sort of stuff to like people who just work jobs for a living and are just doing their jobs, you know, like we don't need that.
They get angry at the man that make the game go beep beep and kill dogs. Ridiculous.
It really is.
Anyway, all right, guys. I think that is about it for this one. Sorry we ended on such a solemn note here, but
I'm so sorry, listeners.
It's okay. Anyways, we got some good lineups coming up. We got a bunch of tuned ups that are coming. We also have some of the lost episodes because we were having audio issues. So we have a couple of episodes that sort of got lost in translation that we are trying to put back up, and that should be coming within hopefully the week or two. And we also have the Renegade Arcade spoiler cast for Last of Us 2 that's going to be coming up. I also have a spoiler review and analysis that spoils the whole thing. So, you know, I'm going to wait a while before I post that, but it's pretty much done. And of course, Josh, you have your video content coming up, which I definitely want you to post on the site as well.
I keep procrastinating on posting press start how Spielberg reimagined Ready Player One on the website.
Which I proofread.
Jacob, the proofreader.
And I also proofread Keona's review.
Yes, he did. Help me out today. Thank you, Jacob, for that.
No problemo.
So, you know, be kind to each other, guys. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Like, you know, be nice to each other. Be safe out there. Wear a mask and wash your hands.
Please.
It's not an attack on your patriotism. It is simply being well and being considerate of others. And, you know, otherwise we're all going to be locked down again. We already can't drink booze, so let's not lock ourselves down again, please. At least in Florida, you can't drink booze now. You can't go out to the bars. And anyway, guys, all right, so where can we find you guys? Jacob, let's start with you.
You can find me on Facebook. My full name is Jacob Krehbiel, Krehbiel, and I'm also a writer for Renegade Pop Culture, and you can also find me on the Renegade Pop Culture Facebook group.
Awesome. And Josh and Kristal, go ahead.
Well, you can find me at simply_ragu816 on Twitter, and you can also find me on Facebook under my name, Kristal Gillum, on the Renegade Pop Culture group, and that's about it for me.
You can also use that same Twitter handle to find her on TikTok.
Shut up.
You can find me at Twitter at JSH Lozano. Kristal recently tagged me in a post of Quote of the Day involving my nips. That's all on her. And
no, stop! My nips are sacred.
You can find me at YouTube at JoshBoy64, where I do video essays now, I guess, and what have you.
Yeah, you kind of do.
You know what? I'm not opposed to that. If that's my new brand, I'm cool with that. And hopefully I could start doing some short films once, people start wearing masks and we can start getting the virus in check. There's a short that I sent a few people that I'm pretty sure you guys will love. You can find me in the Renegade Pop Culture group in Facebook. I am smiling at the camera like a Mexican blend of George Clooney and Gabriel Iglesias.
You wish.
Gabriel Iglesias, that seems
Oh,
about right.
well, I'd still
It's not
say
like I
you.
said Gabriel Luna or Diego Luna, whichever Luna. And yeah, you can also find me on the podcast whenever. I edit some of these things under the name Kawaii Kyle. That name is not exclusive and it's probably not going to stick.
I do add it in the little about section. So.
Oh my god, you did?
I did. I totally did. Yeah.
Oh my god, he's sticking.
All right. And so guys, I want to say thank you to my two co-hosts, to my three co-hosts. Sorry, three co-hosts. I can't see one of you, so that's why my eyes played a trick on me. But Jacob, Josh, Kristal, thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast with me.
It's a pleasure.
And yeah, so we're going to just go ahead and keep moving forward with Renegade Pop Culture. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook. There's an official Renegade Pop Culture page. It's at Ren Pop Culture, and on both sites. And also on anchor.fm, you can find us there. That is our podcast host. And they also have links to Spotify. Also, if you guys do like our content, you can support us month to month if you wish. You can just... if you have an extra dollar or something and you want to support what we do here, you can go ahead and do that. If not, that's perfectly okay. Just, listen to us, and hopefully you like what you hear, and hopefully you can share it with your friends, and just keep it going, guys. We're seeing some momentum on the site, and, I have to say, just, God bless you all, and keep on keeping on. I know it's rough times right now, but oh yeah, you can find me on Twitter also at Keona Tang. That's KeonaTang. And you can also find me on Instagram at Neoplasmic24. And that's basically it, guys. We will see you next time, probably for a tuned up and then hopefully a Renegade Arcade whenever Tony finishes Last of Us 2. And then Streaming Wars is also coming up. So Jacob, that's your show. So
awesome. Yeah, look forward to it.
Yeah.
Drink some Minnesota.
All right, guys. So we will see you guys next time. Peace out, Renegades.
See ya.
Later.
Bye.